If Izzy doesn't win against Nasruddin Imavov, his career is done for. Israel Adesanya is on his last chance. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, although he's still the favorite in the fight. He's only fought once in 2024 and his last win is in 2023 against Alex Pereira. Of course, that was the amazing rematch. But even if you look at that, Izzy is like 1-3 in his last 4 fights. He is 35 years old already, and the oldest middleweight champion ever was 38 years old. That was Anderson Silva. However, that was another time. The middleweight division has really turned into a Shark Tank now. And just in general, it looks like people figured out Izzy's style. In the beginning, no one really knew how to deal with Izzy's striking. Calvin was able to catch him just by being a marauder. But you saw those guys like Paulo Costa, Robert Whittaker in the beginning. They had no answer for Izzy. But then slowly you saw, okay, Vettori was able to hang in there. Jared Cannonier was able to hang in there. Rob made the rematch very competitive, and then Alex, Strickland and Dricus finally figured Izzy out, even though Izzy then innovated against Alex and found a way to beat him. But over time, if you're in the UFC, if you're the champion, you have a huge target on your back, and people just, even if they don't figure out how to beat you, they will figure out how to survive you at the very least. It was GSP who made a great point about this. And I think Izzy has been figured out not only to be survived, but also how to be beaten. I mean, he has lost more than he's won in his last 4 fights. I mean, 1 win, 3 defeats. That's abysmal for Izzy, to be honest. But okay, let's take a look at the top 5 of middleweight. On number 5, we have his opponent, Imavov. 4th place is Robert Whittaker for some reason. Let's face it, he probably won't fight Rob again. They fought each other twice. They seem to be friends now, so I don't really know if they're gonna fight each other. 3rd place, Khamzat Chimaev. Nightmare matchup, bro. Imagine what Khamzat would do to Israel Adesanya. I am 100% convinced Khamzat would submit Izzy in the very first round. Because he submitted Rob in the first round. Dricus was able to take down Izzy pretty consistently, so why would Khamzat not be able to do it? Khamzat would take him down immediately and submit him in 1. That's just... Listen, Izzy almost lost the rematch to Rob because of Robert Whittaker's grappling. Khamzat just walked through Whittaker, okay? So Khamzat would absolutely eat Izzy in the octagon. He wouldn't even eat him. It would be like a formality. Just, okay, get in the ring, take down, oh, submission, that's it. And then Izzy is 2nd for some reason. And number 1 guy, Sean Strickland, number 1 contender. He's already lost to Sean. And Sean has his fight scheduled against Dricus du Plessis. We do get the rematch because the first fight was pretty close. But Izzy lost to both of these guys. He lost to both the champion and the number 1 contender, which is, I think, unfamiliar territory for Izzy. If Izzy beats Imavov, he will get the title shot because he's a big name, and he's gonna get the winner of Dricus versus Strickland also because we have a backstory and the timing just fits perfectly. Both parties are gonna get like 7 to 8 months of rest, and then they can fight each other later in the year. Maybe in late summer or something like that. And to be honest, Izzy would probably lose the rematch, especially to Dricus. I think Dricus just has a style that beats Izzy, and Izzy is, I think like 2020, 2019, Izzy could have beaten him because he was a lot fresher, fitter. I mean, people say he looked good against Dricus, and technically he did, but come on, he was getting caught by Dricus and his cardio was just absolutely not on Dricus level. Probably also the grappling that wore Izzy down, but cardio-wise, Izzy just can't hang with DDP. With Strickland, maybe he can find a technical way to beat him. Strickland is also not the youngest guy, but I think he can beat Strickland. He can't really beat Dricus, and I don't even know if he's even still hungry, because compare how he looked after the Alex loss and how he looked after the Dricus loss. After the Alex loss, he went up to Alex, gave him a fist bump, said, I don't like you, you don't like me, but good job, we're gonna fight again. This is gonna happen again. After he lost to Dricus, he went over, hugged him, raised his hand, was like, oh yeah, we're African warriors. It was almost like a passing of the torch. Now, mind you, Izzy wasn't really in a position to pass the torch, but you get what I mean, right? However, Israel Adesanya has already showed himself to be able to adapt and win a rematch, as he did against Alex. So, in my mind, if you can beat Alex, you can certainly also beat Dricus or Sean Strickland. Thing is, you can do it, but that doesn't mean you will do it, of course. And if he loses to Imavov, all of this is down the drain anyways, because he would have to fight down in the rankings, and just getting one win against like 8th or 7th placed would not be enough. He would need to get at least 2 wins, and also between those fights there is downtime, and until you get the champion you have to see when the champion is free. And I think with all that downtime, Izzy's just gonna get older. If he ever gets a title shot again in this scenario, like if he loses to Imavov but then wins 1 or 2 more fights, he would probably be like 39 when he gets another title shot. The problem with Izzy is, I think you can't just look at his age. I think Izzy has already taxed his body a lot throughout his career. He has had 14 fights in 3 years, which is absolutely insane, and he took a lot of damage in his defeats against Dricus and Strickland. He's had a war with Calvin, and just he's had so many fights. He has such a long kickboxing past. Izzy has taken quite some damage, okay? He's not like Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz levels of CTE, or better yet Tony Ferguson, but damage eventually shows up. Father time catch. It's not even father time. It's just, listen man, we have like a HP bar in real life, and eventually that bar is gonna run out, especially if you have over 100 fights in kickboxing and then some fights in MMA, also did a bit of boxing, and then there's so much sparring that comes into that. I mean, have you seen the man spar Dan Hooker? Like, Dan Hooker's a lunatic. These guys are not going light in sparring. If he loses, he's gonna have to take another break. He's gonna have to face an upcoming contender, and most likely even beating one upcoming contender wouldn't be enough. After losing to Imavov, he would have to win another fight. And let's just be honest, Izzy is not dumb, okay? He knows which position he's in. He knows that this is a must-win fight for him, that this is his last chance to save his career. And if he loses to Imavov, he probably retires, or he turns into a journeyman. I don't think he's dead yet. He looked okay against Dricus, as I said, but I don't really think he will make massive improvements anymore in his career. Remember, he didn't beat Alex by making major improvements. All he really did was just tighten up, not make the mistakes that he did, and just figured out a way to catch Alex early. He didn't revolutionize his fighting style, that's what I'm getting at. He found one trick that worked against Alex, it worked properly, he made sure to not get caught this time, and then he did it. Because I love Pereira, we all do, but Izzy eventually beating or even KOing Pereira was long overdue. Let's just face it, let's be honest, it's a bit crazy that Pereira was able to beat this guy 3 times, okay? The first fight, I watched that back. I gave that fight to Izzy, to be honest. Second fight, Izzy just got overzealous and then got caught perfectly by Pereira. Of course, credit to Pereira. I'm not taking anything away from him. I like Pereira. I've made a ton of videos about him. Some of my best videos on this channel, and I'm not talking about performance, but content and how much fun I've had. Most of my best videos are about Alex Pereira or feature him in some kind of significant way. But Pereira was lucky to beat him 3 times. I must say that honestly, okay? But let's just move on. You can hate me in the comments. I don't really care. So, Imavov might beat Israel Adesanya. I don't think he's very likely to, but he definitely has the chance to. And if he does, wouldn't it just be like typical, oh no, the vet loses to the younger contender? I know Imavov, he's not like 25, he's 28, but still, in UFC terms, in middleweight, 28 is not too old, okay? And Izzy has to clutch up for Imavov. In my opinion, the best way that this can end for Izzy is him clutching up against Imavov, beating him, and then winning the rematch against either Dricus or Strickland. I think Izzy should hope that Strickland gets it, because Dricus is just gonna out-grapple him, okay? Izzy, it's too late in his career to become very sound at defensive grappling. Strickland is a striker, so is Izzy, so at least we're in the realm of Izzy, the realm which Izzy likes the most. So, best case scenario, Izzy beats Imavov, then beats Strickland, but I don't think that's very likely. I think he should go for winning these 2 fights and then retire, but I think he's gonna probably beat Imavov, lose the rematch to the champion, and then he's gonna either retire or he's gonna lose a couple, win a couple, become a journeyman, and then retire. But there's really no need for this. Izzy has already made very good money. He's probably gonna be inducted into the Hall of Fame. He has a YouTube channel that's going well for him. He is sponsored by Prime and by Steak. So I don't think Izzy's career will have more than 2 fights left. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope Izzy gets it done against Imavov. I would be delighted to see him win the title again, but I don't think it's gonna happen. He's paid his dues, he's got his legacy, it's time to move on, and yeah, thanks for watching.